Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is really safe and well. Now today guys, I've got a few repotting videos coming up, and this one today I'm going to be repotting commonly known as the rainbow cactus because of its absolutely beautiful spination here. Now there's a bit of a story to this one. This is one we got probably about 3 years ago from our wonderful friend Michael Harrington from Harrington Exotics here in Ireland, and we're very happy to get this replaced because I did have one that I had for a long time that used to flower every year for me, and the one day it came down a few years ago now with mealybug, but it was the type of mealybug that I've never encountered before. And by the way, apparently there's hundreds of different types of mealybug. These are like very tiny ovally shaped ones, and sounds pretty horrible, but when you used to squeeze them as you do with mealybug to get them out of the way, the juices were green and not pink. Anyway, it was a species I don't know where the hell it came from, but it was completely incurable and untreatable. Nothing worked on it. Now we successfully treat any pests with Nemo and it works really well, but we've never encountered that awful pest since then, so hopefully we never will anyway. But anyway, this is the one we've got, and I'm going to be repotting it today. Doesn't really need a bigger pot, maybe it's slightly bigger, which I've got this very slightly next one up. The reason why I'm repotting it is just to freshen up the soil, and we're trying out this amazing new soil cactus mix that was advised by our wonderful friend Daz from Cacti Mania, and he said, Lynn, this is really good, and it's 4 equal parts of loam based soil. In this case I've used John Innes No. 2 mixed with lava rock, pumice and grit, and I have to say I've been using it over the past couple of weeks on our plants. Very happy with it. And if you want to know how to make this soil mix, then do check out Daz from Cacti Mania's soil mix. Links up above to how he makes it, so thank you Daz for telling us about that. And also a big thank you to my wonderful fiance Hans for filming me today, so I've got my hands free. And if you're not familiar with Hans's amazing channel, Family of Cactus and Other Beauties, do go over and subscribe to him. Links up above. And subscribe to me too. So guys, here we go. Now this particular cactus, as I say, a little bit of the care on it. I know we lost our other one, but it was down to mealybugs a few years ago, sadly. With the care, as the majority of cacti, this particular cactus loves as much sun as you can give it. As you can see, the spination on this, absolutely beautiful spination. And the more sun you can give this cactus, not only the healthier it's going to be, the more chances it's going to be of flowering, but also the fact that it also brings out the lovely colour. I notice in the winter, this particular cactus will not be as lovely colourful red. It has lovely red rings around it. We've been having some gorgeous weather here in Ireland and the UK the past couple of weeks, and it's really brought out the red coloration. So obviously bear that in mind with sunshine, as with all cacti. It can take quite cold temperatures, a cool overwinter dry period, completely dry, above at a minimum of 5 Celsius, which is about 41 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on your climate. I mean, we're here in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, which is very damp, very high humidity in the winter, so we keep it well above 5 Celsius. We have a heater in our polytunnel that comes on, that kicks on if it drops below 5C, which is 41. But if you're lucky enough to live in a lovely dry arid climate like Arizona and all them type of places, they can take cooler temperatures than that if they're overwintered cool and dry. So obviously one size doesn't fit all when it comes to overwintering, but that's what we do. And we keep it completely dry over the winter. In the spring and summer, like now it's spring, we will keep this plant. We'll start to water it probably from May time. I haven't watered this particular cactus yet. Once I've repotted it, I won't be watering it anyway for about 10 days to let it settle into the new pot. I do that always repot in spring and summer if you can, preferably spring. The earlier in spring the better. And then I will give this cactus a good watering. You can't say once a week or once a month. It really depends on when the soil dries out and the weather. Obviously, if you're having good weather like this, then I will water this every time the soil in the pot completely dries out. And you can either lift it up by the weight, or we have a little soil meter measurer that you can stick in, and it tells you if the soil is still damp at the bottom. Only when this is totally dry will I water this again. That's with all our cacti, as all cacti can be rot prone even in summer if they're kept in wet, soggy soil all the time. Bear that in mind. And obviously a very well draining cactus and succulent mix of your choice, and people have completely different choices when they're using cactus and succulent soil. There's no right or wrong. We use an exceptionally gritty one because here in Northern Ireland is very damp and wet, even in the summertime. And although this is kept in our polytunnel, so it doesn't, we're in control of the watering. If we have a few days of rain here, humidity just gets into it anyway. So that's a little bit about it. So basically this cactus likes as much sun as you can give it, a cool and dry overwintering, ideally above 5°C, 41 degrees Fahrenheit, and a well draining cactus mix, and water sort of every time the soil in the pot has dried out from spring until sort of late summer really. And when it comes to fertilising as well, we always like to use with our flowering cacti, which all cacti flower obviously, but the ones we know particularly love to flower, as this one here, we like to use a, as well as a cactus and succulent fertiliser as well, we like to use tomato fertiliser, and we use one by MacLeod. And I've mentioned why we like to use tomato fertiliser in a separate video, so links up above to that video on why we like to use tomato feed to feed our cacti and succulents. And no, we have not had tomatoes yet, guys, but you know, strange things have happened and are happening this year, so anything can happen, as you know. If we get tomatoes, watch this space. But we do get a lot more flowers from using it. So that's a little bit on the care on this particular cactus. And as I say, I've made lots of videos on repotting cacti. I've made a separate video on actually how to repot a cactus. So this is a very easy one to repot, which is why I don't use cardboard or gloves, because I don't like to anyway, unless it's very spiny. You can handle this quite well. But if you want to know how to repot a very spiny cactus, then do check a video I've made up above on how to repot a cactus. And as I say, very gently squeezing that out there. There we go. This soil isn't bad that we used the last time. We used a very well draining, as we always do. Loam, grit, sand, the lot. But we just want to try the new mix. And just checking the roots. Great root system there. I like to knock off as much, very, very carefully, of the old soil as I can. This is because it will help the roots to acclimatise to the new soil when I put it into that pot. But because this is quite, as you can see there, condensed with the roots, I don't want to go pulling them all apart and causing damage. They're healthy roots. I just like to loosen them up a little bit there so it can acclimatise to the new soil a bit better. And also, it's a good opportunity to check for any signs of root pests, such as vine weevils, which are horrible things, and root mealybugs. The confusing thing is, with a lot of cactus soil, as in this case I've used a lot of perlite, don't get confused that that's not root mealybug. It does look similar, bear that in mind. This here is purely just perlite, as I'll show you. And also with the John Innes compost, the loam which we use, does actually have little tiny bits of white fertiliser granules added to it, so it can be confusing when you repot, thinking that, oh, it's got root mealybug, but it hasn't. I can tell. I'm experienced with this to know what root mealybug looks like, but you do need to check. There you go. That's all I'm going to really do for that, for loosening. I don't want to loosen it too much. I think it's pretty good. And that's the little bit at the bottom there, a slightly bigger pot, and as I say, definitely did need a bigger pot. A little bit, a few centimetres of the fresh soil in there, and then pot it in. And then hold it in the middle, and then what I'm going to be doing then is putting the soil around. As I say, this is a very particularly beautiful type of cactus. It is easy to grow if you can do everything sort of I say here with the care. I'd had the one I had previous for absolutely years. In fact, it was over 25 years old, and I always grew it well until it came down with such a bad infestation of mealybugs. It just was unsavable. And the mealybugs, by the way, I check my plants regularly. The reason why I didn't notice it is this type of mealybug was one that burrowed inside the plant. I've never experienced that before. It was internally. I don't even know whether it was mealybug, but it was the only thing that looked anything like it. Never been able to ID what type of pest it was, but it was horrendous. So you don't know what's going on inside your plants if they look healthy on the outside till they literally start to keel over. So that's that there. And I just like to very gently tap the pot to make sure these little bits of soil then go down all the way. Sometimes squeeze it, and if you can feel it, it feels a little bit air pockets. There we go. And it's going to very gently press down. You want to make sure the plant is secure, so it's not going to wobble out. But I would not recommend pressing really. You see some people pressing really firm down. I wouldn't, because that can cause the roots that have just been transplanted to come away in the pot when you don't know they have, and again when you go to water then it can rot. Now personally I like to keep, when I repot my cacti, and certainly you know, these type of cacti, I always like to keep them dry for about a week to 10 days, just to allow them to acclimatise to the new soil. I use dry soil anyway, but some people, I know, go ahead and water straight away, no problems. It's just something I prefer to do. It reduces any chance of rot and allows the plant roots to acclimatise to the new soil. So there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little video and a few little care tips on this gorgeous cactus. And if you want to know a bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, then please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And don't forget to subscribe and also click that notification bell. Ding ding. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, tons of sunshine, and heaps of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.